If you are like me, born here, raised there, working and living internationally, traveling all around the world, you'll probably come to the same conclusion. In order to have a good sense of place, you have to better have a good sense of self. I'm a big believer that greatness is inside every single one of us, but we have to find ways to get it out. Sometimes we need a push, motivation, someone from outside or our own intrinsic motivation. But there is another mechanism that is smoother and very powerful, and it's called inspiration. Inspiration may come from a walk in nature, a book, or a TED Talk. So today, I'm going to try to inspire you to use a path of self-discovery that is unusual, not because people don't use it today, they do, but not necessarily for this purpose. And that path starts with letter E. But as you saw before, every self-discovery journey starts with the question, who am I? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and I'm going to warn you that you have to be patient with your own journeys. It only took me 56 years to find more about myself. I am 100% European. My mom was French, my dad was Spaniard, I'm from Spain. But a few years ago, I decided to come to this country, and I loved it. So, out of free will, I became a US citizen. And you could say that I'm European by birth, but American by choice. Probably different than most of you that are Americans by birth, but would love to have the passport of one of those countries where you have your roots. That is one of the most fascinating things for me. When I speak to people here, and they are so connected to the roots. I was traveling the other day with a friend of mine, and he said, Kiko, I am 100% Slovenian. And I was like, yay. You know, we're going to talk about Ljubljana or Maribor, one of those beautiful cities, right? So I said, where from? Cleveland. I was like, okay. Not the first time that it happens to me, though. Probably happened to you too, right? You go to New York, how you doing? 100% Italian, from Brooklyn. I was like, okay. So, but once I overcome the fact and the shock that you can be 100% Italian from Brooklyn, the conversation always starts about my home country. And so I ask people back and I say, what period of 700 years you're interested in? Because the Iberian culture is a combination of hundreds of years of different civilizations in that same land. So let me put this in motion with a timeline. Let's put the Gregorian calendar there, and you'll see that that little arrow, that's my life. I actually measure it in pixels, believe me. So our lives are such a tiny little window into history, but that's the only one we have. So we have to try to make a difference. Now, in that window, we go through a lot of things, ups and downs. So I remember a time when it was a difficult time for me. My mom just recently passed, and I was taking my first managerial position when a friend of mine came back and gave me a book, wrote by a monk in the 16th century. And I said, are you kidding me? But man, was that an amazing book. So inspiring. This guy, this monk, wrote 300 aphorisms, and they are as authentic and as contemporaneous as you can imagine. They apply to today incredibly well. So I'm going to put you one there that I connect with completely. And it's so exciting every time I read these things, this one in particular, that I really want to start singing my walkout song, but I don't have the rights for it. So you have to just kind of imagine which one it is. But, you know, let's go back to Baltasar Gracián, that monk. He wrote tons of books. And in one of them, he said that if you want to improve yourself, you really have to get to know yourself. Probably not the first time you hear that, right? You remember the know thyself from the Greeks? You remember Thales and Plato and Socrates? These guys had it as a slogan in their temples. So let's go back to the timeline. I'm going to put there the time when the Romans took the Iberian Peninsula. And of course, I had to put a very good-looking Spaniard, even if it is fictitious. Oh, by the way, the Romans gave the name to Spain. They call it Hispania. In case you thought that Hispanic was someone's panic. But let's give some credit to the Romans. Let's put their funny numbers up there. And then let's see what was the time between the Greeks talking about knowing yourself and this monk in the 16th century. Over 2,000 years. Now, if you add the time between the 16th century and now, the good news is that we have collectively 2,600 years of self-knowledge experience. The problem is when people ask me, how? I mean, we still don't know how to find out about ourselves. So I tell them, look, there's one way, that's introspection, self-reflection. That is hard. That's going to give you a headache. But there's another one, and here's the idea. Why don't we use entrepreneurship as a path to self-discovery? Let me tell you a few things about it that you're going to be probably thinking, wow, I never thought about it that way. You're going to learn about risk. We don't learn about risk that much in school, but you're going to learn about your appetite for risk. Do you like to be secure? Do you like more reward versus more risk? There are physical risks, health risks, financial risks, operational risks, strategic risks. It's a very important topic in life. Other thing you're going to learn is age doesn't really matter. The best conversations I have with my 11-year-old daughter are about the ideas she has for businesses. And it doesn't matter if she ends up doing it or not. It's the process of knowing what is it that it will take. The other thing you're going to learn is what is it that you really like. And let me tell you, I do not agree with those that say that if there's something that you like, it's not work. It's a lot of work. Very hard work. But it's your product. It's your service. It's your soul into it. I was talking to a dad recently, and his daughter started a business a few years back, designing bow ties and suspenders. As niche as it can get. But she loved it. And she went and learned all the things that she needed to learn while she was designing these things. Today, she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably even more than her partner with a regular good job. Which leads me to another point. Entrepreneurship will help you develop a healthy relationship with money. Money is good. Make as much as you can. It's not finite. Profit is good. Non-profit is good. But the other thing you're going to learn is that if you want someone to invest in your dream, if you need capital, that is one of the hardest things to do. And you have to dig deep, and you have to expect getting super dirty, but eventually do that with a smile, because it's going to take a while. You are definitely going to learn to make difficult choices. The ones that hurt. And, more importantly, people will definitely learn that there are consequences. You're going to learn how to lead yourself and how to lead others. Being your boss is fantastic, don't take me wrong. That's great. But self-leadership is one of the attributes of the most successful people in life. And learning how to lead is learning how to set the conditions for success, talking about values. You will have to be able to articulate a vision. You have to get some people to follow you instead of their own dreams. And finally, you're going to learn more about the world. Let me break this one for you. People are willing to pay for stuff. Isn't that amazing? And people are willing to pay even more for what they want, not for what they need. So in this process, you're going to learn about behaviors and needs and wants and learn how people think about these things. And you'll be able to make a contribution to society, creating wealth and creating jobs. There is nothing more American than entrepreneurship, not even apple pie. And if there's any definition of the American dream, entrepreneurship meets every single one of those elements. In addition to that, we're going to be able to stop the spread. We're going to be able to stop the spread of quiet quitting. Because I doubt that you're going to quiet quit your own business. So let me leave you with two thoughts. The first one is, if you're going to do this, don't just do it to become an entrepreneur. Do it to discover yourself intentionally. It's a lot of fun, it's hard, but you're going to learn about yourself a lot more. The other thing is this word that I told you, inspiration, that subtle but very strong mechanism. I would hope that our educators, parents, business leaders learn how to inspire our youth. I'm going to leave you with this. Read it on your own and tell me if you wouldn't be more inclined to do the task. By the way, the author is the author of The Little Prince. So, with that, my second and last ask is, maybe we need less coaches and more muses. So, be wise, inspire people around you, and start something. Thank you.